being here tonight. Good to see all you good Republicans here. I know you're full. We're going to get started here. At this time, Commissioner, Vice Chairman Earl Johnson, would you lead us in the pledge?
My second August staffing and traveling with Congressman Collins during the month of August during what you all call August recess. We call it district work period. The reason is in both of those recesses that we've had so far, I have yet to see a swing set, a teeter-totter, or a sliding board the entire time. Congressman, we did 3 town halls during the month of August. One of them was here in Fannin County. The turnout was wonderful. We held it up at the Performing Arts Center. Turnout was right at about 90 people. And I was very, very happy and very, very pleased. And the Congressman was very, very happy and pleased to be back here. We also did one in Livonia, out on the eastern side of the district. And we also did one in Jefferson. All of our town halls were very, very well attended. Another thing that I got to do during the month of August, and you guys may know this, one of the duties that I have as the Congressman's staff, field representative is I am given the distinct honor and privilege of doing all the staff work for our nominees to the different service academies. Last week, I think it was last week, the Congressman and I traveled to Colorado Springs, Colorado, to meet with the Air Force Academy, tour the Air Force Academy, and we got to have lunch with our Academy cadets. We have 5 young men from the 9th District who are currently full cadets at the Air Force Academy, and we have 1 young man who is in what's called the Air Force Preparatory School. We nominated 10 people from the 9th District. The 9th District has 6 people either in the academy or in their preparatory school. That is a testament to the students that we have in the 9th District. Let me tell you this one thing about that you got to understand about our service academies. If you think about the service academies as a scholarship, which is not really a true comparison, but let's use that term anyway. An appointment to one of our service academy, it's easier to get into Harvard University than it is to a service academy. And the value of that scholarship, to put a dollar amount on it, is anywhere between $450,000 and $500,000. And if these young men or women go into aviation afterwards, become pilots, tap another $1.5 million on top of it. This is what some of the students of the 9th District are facing in the years to come. And we get to see the future leaders. This past weekend, we just did our Academy Day for those rising juniors and seniors who are going to be applying to our service academies again this year. Let me tell you, we have got some amazing young men and women in this district. So we got to go out to the Air Force Academy. We traveled all around the district during the month of August, and now we're back in D.C. The Congressman's back on D.C. Now let me tell you something. Before the Congressman left D.C., there's a little issue going on our southern border. It's an absolute humanitarian and national security disaster waiting to happen. The House of Representatives, I keep hearing on the news about the do-nothing Congress, the do-nothing Congress, the do-nothing Congress. What it truly is a do-nothing Senate. We have over 350 pieces of legislation sitting on Harry Reid's desk that he refuses to take up. One of them is one of Congressman Collins' bills called Israel QME, to make sure that Israel maintains its military edge. It passed with bipartisan support to the tune of 399 votes to 0. You can't get more bipartisan than that. 399 to 0. And it's sitting on Harry Reid's desk. So, before we left, before the Congressman left and the House adjourned for the August recess, we had this issue going on the border. We stayed extra days into the August recess to make sure that we could pass a piece of legislation to deal with this border crisis that we're having today. The President originally asked for $3.7 billion in new appropriations. We went, no way. In that $300 billion was money for playgrounds in Guatemala. I don't think the American taxpayers want to pay for playgrounds in Guatemala. What we did, we passed the pieces of legislation. We also passed DACA, to modify DACA. DACA is what the President is using to delay deportations of these kids and to give them de facto amnesty. In that bill, there was $659 million to meet the immediate border security. What we did is we spent money to pay for the National Guard to secure our border. We put money in there to allow enhanced and expedited deportation. Last in, first out. What that is for is to make sure these parents in these Central American countries see 7 to 10 days after these kids come over, they're back in their lap, they're back in Guatemala, and they'll be wasting their money, and it will slow down this. Just let me know when I'm going. So we passed our pieces of legislation. The Senate could not pass their own piece of legislation. So guess what they did? They went home. They went home. That is why that is one of the reasons it is absolutely imperative, and you'll hear from a gentleman later on about this, it's imperative that we elect David Perdue as our senator from the state of Georgia. We cannot continue down this road with Harry Reid sitting there in the Senate with a giant stop sign up holding a giant sign up and not letting any legislation pass. Understand the reason it's being done. It's not because the Senate hates the legislation. It's not because the Democrats hate the legislation. 399 to nothing bills, and they're not even being taken up to vote. No, it's to protect his members his Democratic members in Congress, and to protect the President from having to make a decision. If we take back the Senate, the House will pass legislation, the Senate will pass legislation, and we're going to lay it on his desk. You want to veto it, Mr. President? Do it. Or sign it. You're not going to sit there and hide anymore. It's time for the President to start making some decisions. So, that was one of the bills that we passed. we've also had some problems, you guys have all seen in the news, about our veterans. Our veterans who are not getting the care that they need. Veterans who are dying waiting on appointments. We passed a veterans legislation in the House that will allow veterans who have not gotten their appointments within 14 days to start seeking them in the local area, or if they are more than 40 miles away from a VA facility, they can go to a local facility. That piece of legislation was taken up, and it was signed by the President. So we have made some progress in getting some things done. There's some other things going on. You've probably heard about the lawsuit that's going on. We call it the Boehner lawsuit. What it is we don't have a problem with the President making executive orders. The first executive order ever written in our nation was written by George Washington. The executive orders are a way for them to for presidents to implement the laws. There's not a problem with that. Implement the law, not change black letter law. And that is exactly what the President has done with some of his executive orders, specifically on the health care law, that the small business mandate had to take place on a certain day. Black letter law. The President signed an executive order to delay that. You can't do that. That is black letter law. The presidency is charged with executing the laws, not making them up or changing the laws as he sees fit. So that's what that's all about. And that's going to be moving its way through. We haven't forgotten about Benghazi either. Trey Gowdy, Congressman Trey Gowdy out of South Carolina is heading up that committee. And he's going to be holding his first hearings very soon. Foreign aid. This is a real nice topic in the 9th District, isn't it? Foreign aid. Congressman Collins has signed on to the Foreign Aid Transparency and Accountability Act. What it does is it makes foreign aid very transparent to the American people, so we can see what this foreign aid is being spent on. Now understand, we're not really against foreign aid per se. The #1 recipient of foreign aid in the world today is the nation of Israel. Does anybody have a problem in this room with helping out the nation of Israel? I don't think so. #2, Egypt. Egypt is the #2 recipient of foreign aid. Since this has been going on, since we have been giving this aid to Israel and to Egypt, has Egypt and Israel been fighting? Have Israel and Egypt been shooting at each other? No. Foreign aid is a way in which we can influence people and influence countries. Is it all used properly? No, it's not all used properly. But it does give us influence, and it also is a lot cheaper than putting boots on the ground. So we are working on making that process much more transparent and how it's being used. We got to make sure that we're giving this aid to countries that like us, and that's part of it. That's part of this process. Last week, you heard me talk. The last time I was up here, we talked about the EPA overreach, and I talked to you about making comments to ditch the rule. This is where the EPA is going to do some changes in definitions of what are called navigable waters. When I say navigable waters to you, what does that make you think of? Most people think rivers, lakes. Well, under the way that they want to do this rule, a drainage ditch is considered navigable water, subject to the rules of the EPA. We passed legislation in the House 2 days ago. What's today? Today's Monday. I believe it was last Thursday. Passed legislation to stop the EPA from this giant power grab. I can go on because I got a whole book here, and I can talk to you guys for hours on end, but I promised John that I wouldn't do that, and besides, half the time he carries the weapon. So if you guys got any questions, I would be happy to take them. And yes, ma'am.
I'm just interested to know if anybody has reached out to do anything to help that young guy down in this being held in Mexico.
You talking about Sergeant Thomas?
Yes.
I will just butcher his name if I try.
Yeah.
Actually, what's happening is the congressman is working with the congressman from that district, okay, that he's from, and we are working with that congressman to pressure the State Department. As much as any of the details are concerned, I wish I could tell you some, but I just don't have it. Remember, I always said I'll answer any question as long as you'll take the answer. I don't know. So that's going to be an I don't know answer. But I know we are working with the congressman from that district.
How close are
I'm sorry, you're the president of this organization. You can't ask a question.
Oh.
Go ahead.
Were you doing the meet or what?
No, I don't care.
Okay. But how close are we taking some Senate seats this time?
This is going to be the best. This is going to be the best opportunity to take control of the Senate that we will have for another 6 years. 6 years. The reason is because the House is elected every 2 years. Okay, all 435 of them have to run for office because they have a 2-year term. The presidency has a 4-year term, and the Senate has a 6-year term. The Senate is basically broke up into thirds. Okay, every 2 years, a third of the Senate goes up for re-election. The way the cycle is working right now, we have a lot of vulnerable Democrats who are up for re-election at this time. 2 years from now, we're not going to have as many. There's going to be more Republicans up for re-election, and 2 years after that. So we're talking 2014, 2016, 2020. It'll be 2024 before this cycle matches itself back in. 2020 when this cycle comes back around. So this is our best chance right now to do it. I think we can do it, but we cannot be cocky about it. The worst thing we can do is sit here in the state of Georgia and say, yeah, David Perdue's got this. Yeah, David Perdue's got this. Remember November of 2012, 5 million conservative-leaning voters stayed home because they figured Mitt Romney had it, or they stayed home for other reasons. The kicker also is those 5 million plus voters who stayed home happened in some really, really bad places for us: Ohio, Michigan, Pennsylvania, Florida. You lose those states in a presidential election, you're not going to win. 5 million conservative voters stayed home. We cannot take this election for granted. We can't take any elections for granted. To use an example, I hear people say all the time, well, my vote doesn't count, my vote doesn't count. We had a school board election in Gainesville, Dalrymple County. 3 people were running. Georgia, you have to win 50% plus 1 vote. The man who was in first place, do you know how much he missed avoiding a runoff by? 1 vote. And the difference between second and third, the initial count was 7 votes. Don't tell me votes don't count. Every single vote counts. And let me tell you, friends don't let friends vote alone. Vote early, take your friends with you, talk to your friends in other states, get them to vote, okay? We had a primary here in March. Yeah, no, I'm sorry, in May. In May. You know what the turnout in the state was? 19.6%, I think it was. Less than 20%. That's less than 1 in 5 people showed up to vote. And those are the people who would bother to register. 1 in 5 of the registered voters showed up. We want to change this nation. We want to get back to the conservative principles that you guys have been fighting for and Doug Collins has been fighting for. Get out and vote. I can't stress it enough. We cannot take this for granted. We got a governor's race that's going to be tight, and we've got a senatorial race that is going to be tight. And let me tell you, the Democrats are serious about winning, keeping the Senate and winning this open Senate seat in Georgia, and they are sure serious about winning the governorship. So, yeah, we've got a very good shot, but we've got to stay active. That's all I've got for right now, John.
Thank you, Bill.
Thank you very much.
Good luck. Good job. Yep. I wish we could beat every one of them. Moving right on, at this time, Harry Doss is here to speak for David Perdue. Harry?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Okay. Lynn, can you hear me?
If I leave, you know it's not for a marriage.
Yeah, okay. All right, thank you. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Thank you for letting me come and speak. I want to take this opportunity, though, to say something personal. For our chairman of our party, Johnny Searcy, has been working extremely hard on behalf of the entire party. And I've been impressed with it. We started in, and we've had a dinner every meeting. Somebody has to organize this, get people to volunteer. Has to get speakers, make the agenda, put on the meeting. I think we really owe him a great vote of thanks and appreciation. Why don't we all give our chance? All right. And Lynn, time me 5 or 6 minutes, and I will stop. Lynn will stand up, and I will stop, I promise you. Let me, Lynn and myself have had the privilege of being the county coordinators for Mr. Perdue's campaign. The citizens of Fannin County did very well. We were one of the top percentage counties in the state voting for Mr. Perdue in both the general primary and the runoff. As has already been said, this race is extremely important, very important. Let me tell you a couple of things why, if you want to talk. I hope you'll go out and talk to your family and your friends about this. It's already been alluded to. The government, I hear this phrase, I think it's actually a rather stupid phrase. It doesn't explain anything. Gridlock. Gridlock. Well, it is gridlock in the sense that Speaker Boehner, our congressman and the Republican congressman, have passed a great deal of legislation, as has been noted. And it goes to the Senate, and it doesn't even get considered. No debate, no vote. It's just, as has been said, dead on arrival on Harry Reid's desk. Oh, it doesn't get moved out. Also, the Democrats who are running for election haven't had to vote on any of the election. But we don't have a voting record to point out to the voters the difference between the Democrats and the Republicans. And they don't vote on anything in the Senate. Now, or very little. Oh, to stop this and move the legislation ahead that a majority of the people in the United States want, we need for the Republicans to win the Senate. Republicans need 6 Senate seats. Now, we also, one important thing, we can't do a whole lot about the Senate race in Alaska from Fannin County, unless you have a whole big family up there voting. Maybe you could influence them. Short of that, what we need to do is to ensure that David Perdue is elected to take the Senate seat that is now held by a Republican. We know about Mr. Perdue. He has a business record. And I think for once, we need someone that's not a career politician, but someone who's had business experience and recent business experience. Someone that has been there where the rubber meets the road. Now, the Democratic Party is outspending. They have a lot more money than our party has, being funded by Wall Street, Goldman Sachs, that type of organization, and they're really hammering our candidate. And I think, and quite frankly, it has had some effect about the problems in North Carolina, closing plants, this type of thing. But there's always two sides to every story, and you don't get that in a political advertising. But why do we need a Republican? To move things ahead, at least in the United States Congress. Now, one of the most important things the president does is make political appointments, but judicial appointments. The appointments to the Supreme Court that decide on critical issues. Now, we have a Supreme Court justice that is, like myself, getting on up there in years. She's a little older than myself, Justice Ginsburg. At some point, someone is going to have to make another appointment to the Supreme Court. But besides the Supreme Court, you have the Court of Appeals on the federal bench and the district courts. And Mr. Obama makes extremely liberal appointments. And he does exactly what I would do if I was president. I would be appointing very young, very intelligent conservatives, where they'd be on the bench a long time. They don't have to run for re-election. So it's important. But all of those men or women and women have to pass a vote in the United States Senate. And if the Republicans control the Senate, then the Senate can block extreme liberal appointments. They can bring reason to it. Get intelligent, maybe moderate, middle of the road people, rather than left wing like our president. Without the Senate, we will continue to have extreme left wing appointments, and this will affect us long after everyone in this room has gone, including the children. What justices decide matters, and it lasts. Now, the federal budget is out of control. You got a $17 trillion debt. You got a pen, try writing down a trillion or 17 trillion. I can't even imagine it. Can you? I mean, really, I can't really imagine a billion. Okay, Larry, I got thanks. A billion. We got 17 trillion and growing. Mr. Obama and his crew, they don't care. They just print money. Sooner or later, we'll either be bankrupt and default on the debts, or we're going to have to pay. We need to bring the budget under control, and unless we get control of the Senate. Now, we have another important point here. I think the Democrats in the Congress have, like they've been doing since Vietnam, gutted the Defense Department. Gutted the Defense Department. Okay. Since World War II, our strategy, the military strategy of this country has been prepared that our Army, Navy, Air Force, and Marines are prepared and have enough strength to fight two wars on two fronts. Obviously, one on the Atlantic side and on the Pacific side. Obama has changed that. Our military now the strategy is only to be able to fight one war. And I would suggest that we may not even have that many to fight a war. One war. Anyway. And then, of course, we have other really bread and butter issues like gun control. The Democrats would like to place strict limits on gun control. And I noticed today one of my sons received something from the National Rifle Association that was endorsing Mr. Perdue and had some information of why the NRA was endorsing Mr. Perdue. That's sent out by that. Now, I had an opportunity to see our Speaker Ralston, a weekend ago, just briefly. I said, what can we do? The Speaker said, look, the polls, like Bill said, are very close. The Senate race is close. The governor's race is close. So every vote counts. Let me tell you, I'm over my time. I'm going to try and wrap it up, but I think this is important that we know. The Democrats, they're not amateurs at this. They're very, very good at it. In DeKalb County this year, they're going to vote on Sunday. Now, why would they be voting on Sunday? Well, many of the precincts in DeKalb County are in the black churches. And the black churches are precincts that have been in there from time immemorial. This is where they vote in DeKalb County. We're going to vote on Sunday in the black churches. Now, that's okay with me, with our black brothers and sisters, but that's pretty sharp. But where are they voting in the overwhelming majority? For the Democrats. So we're going to have to try and offset that with a good turnout. And our turnout here, while we voted very overwhelmingly for Mr. Perdue, the actual turnout was fairly dismal for the registered voter standpoint. Sandra, would you?
Yes, I would agree. I can't give you the figures, but I know when we saw them, we were not happy.
Okay, thank you, Sandra. We need to get out of it. What can we do about this? I mean, every vote counts. We need to vote in Fannin County to try and offset our liberal brothers and sisters down in DeKalb and other places. They're organized, we need to get organized. So I urge you, what can we do? Well, of course, I'm preaching to the choir. You know, it's like the minister turning around and talking to the choir on Sunday. Well, but here we are, we need to talk to our families and our friends, our neighbors who are not here, to make sure that they go out and vote. Everybody in this room, I'm sure, if you live to, what is it, November 4th? If you're alive, you'll be voting. And as my wife often tells me, you may not make it to election day, you need to vote early. she says this, I mean, it's with great confidence. ChatGPT says, you know, Senator Coverdale didn't make it to election day, but you might not either. You need to vote early. Well, I'm going to gamble. I'm going to vote on election day. You know, we can hold it against me if I lose by one vote. I'm not going to make it. But we do need to get our relatives, our children. You know, Ben and I, we have 5 children of voting age. You know, they vote. But we have to make sure they vote. We have to encourage them, talk to them. 5 others. Our neighbors, you can talk to them. You can talk to your friends. Please make sure that they will vote. And you would think it's important to vote. I think our county officials do a great job. I really do. I think our commissioners and everyone else. My wife just left. She gave up on me. Somebody will need to give me a ride home. she's going to have a telephone conference with the Purdue campaign. Anyway, I think our Bill, Earl, Larry, our officials do a good job. They're working hard. And they also deserve our support. You would think that if you read the papers, and any of them, I mean, we got 4, 5, 6 people go to the commissioners' meetings and mouth off. And this is just right. It's a free society. But they're not really representative of the county. I don't think. We need to support our elected officials. But we also need to support it by the Republicans turning out and voting for our candidates. Now, Mr. Perdue is running for the Senate nomination to take Senator Saxby Chambliss' seat that he's held. We have Governor Deal. Well, I think this is a race I have not heard of anything. Lieutenant Governor. Does our Lieutenant Governor have opposition? I hate to say this, but does he have opposition? I don't know. Does he?
No, I don't.
I don't know. I haven't seen anything on the Lieutenant Governor. Anyway, and then we have the school superintendent race, and I guess we've got 1 or 2 public service commission races that we need to get out and vote for the Republicans. Now, what can we do? I want you to please, I'm sorry I've taken a little bit of time, but I want you to please talk to your family and your friends to get them to vote. And there's nothing wrong with voting early. Sonia, do you know when the voting
Yes.
early?
The voting begins, early voting begins October the 14th, Monday through Friday from 9 to 5. You can vote on Saturday, October the 25th from 9 to 4 on the 3rd floor of the courthouse.
Good. Everybody hear that? So it starts October 14th
Yes,
at 9 o'clock.
yes.
And it continues to what? The Friday before the election?
Well, really the Saturday before, because you get to vote Saturday, October the 25th, and the election is November the 4th.
Okay, thank you, Sonia. She's one of our not school, but one of our representatives on the election board. Thank you.
What's the last day to register?
The last day to register is October the 6th.
October 6th.
in order to vote on November the 4th.
October the 6th. So, all right. Finally, let me ask you too. You can go out and vote, talk to your friends, make sure they vote. But I think one thing I've come to believe in, I think it has kind of helps create a bandwagon effect. I didn't always think this way, but I've come around to this thinking yard signs. So, this weekend, Mr. Purdue's signs were arriving today, supposedly, but they had some, and I met someone in Jasper that wrote yard signs, just regular yard signs. And I wish that every one of you, if you have a house and you have a yard, would take one tonight and put it up. Now, if you have a child or a brother or sister that you could get them to put up a yard sign, please take it. Please take one. I think yard signs create an effect, and it's name recognition. People look at it.
We need bumper stickers too.
Thank you, Blake. We got bumper stickers. Wait a minute, hold on. Can you go there? All right, listen, wait a minute. Thank you, Blake. I have a variety of bumper stickers for your viewing pleasure. One, we have a camouflage bumper sticker. Yeah, pretty cool. All right, then we just have the regular bumper stickers, the blue, red, and white, or red, white, blue, Purdue, and we have, which will go on your windows. A lot of us don't like to put bumper stickers on our bumper because they tend to be there when we sell the car. But they'll go on your window quite nicely. If you could take one of these and put it on your window. I handed out, beginning of the meeting, one of these really interesting information of Mr. Purdue, business record, native Georgian, and I guess that's all now. But we do have the signs. If you take a sign, if you know someone else that would kindly give you permission to put up a yard sign, please take it. Now, Mr. Purdue has given instruction. He doesn't want us to put out yard signs on the right-of-ways. So don't take it out and put it by some stop sign on the street. Please put it in your yard, if you will. And that would be most appreciated. Now, finally, two things. Wait a minute. I have been urging the Purdue campaign to let us have an event here in Fannin County for them. But their schedule is very tight, and thus far they have not agreed. Or they said, well, we appreciate it, we're so busy, we don't know that we can work it in. But if I do, I would like to pass a couple of these around, and if you can help, if you're willing to help, please, yeah, thank you, let me get a pen. Now this is my Make and Bank pen, and I'd like it back at the end.
I don't think you're having trouble.
No, if y'all will pass around these, if you could help, please put your name and telephone number. We've got an event. I hope that we'll be able to get an event, but I don't know. But I need your phone number. If we get an event, if they say, okay, y'all can do an event for us, I'll let you know. Finally, I believe that's all I have. I think I've covered it. Applause, that would be appropriate to applause. Look, we are going to have large signs, 4x8. They didn't have these in the general primary, 4x8. And if you know, if you can put up a, now 4x8 is a pretty good size sign. If you know of a place, or you have a place, please let me know tonight. Because I have to tell them tonight how many we can use. They're rationing them out. Harold, can we put them up there on your property? Okay, I do. All right. Thanks. Just let me know, and that's how many I'm going to order. Right? And we'll have them tomorrow. And I've got a team, Greg, myself, have got a team that will put them up in a professional manner. We hope. Thanks. Thanks, John.
Gary, thank you a lot. Best of luck. You think one of these stickers here.
Yes, sir. Thank you very much for letting me come and speak.
Yeah, thank you. All right.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Moving right along, I think we only have a couple more. Ron Bowden, he's coming up to speak about the Mountain Regional Library, or Fannin County Public Library. Ron?
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Can you all hear me? Without this mic? Yay? Okay. Okay. Thank you for giving me this opportunity. I'm here as the chairman of the Board of Library Trustees here in Fannin County. And earlier there should be a handout, not everyone got this, about the library and the Mountain Regional Libraries here. And I had some serious questions and concerns prior to this, so I decided on my own to do some research and some digging to answer some of these questions. And what the information I found, I wanted to share with you, because I believe there's a lot of misunderstanding about the Fannin County Library and its relationship to the regional library and this library system throughout Georgia. Starting out the history of the Mountain Regional Library System in Young Harris, Georgia, if you have that handout. The public libraries in Georgia were born during the WPA years of 1940-43. That's the Works Progress Administration started by FDR. In 1944, the Georgia State Legislature passed a bill appropriating state aid to public libraries, allowing many regional systems to be formed. Basically what it is, the state encouraged local counties and local systems to fund a library and that they would help with them, and they provided paid library. The state paid for a library for those counties, and many of them, due to the cost, formed systems. In other words, several counties would go in together and form a region. The Towns Union Regional Library was founded in 1946 through the efforts of many people, including representatives from county schools, boards of education, county commissioners, PTOs, and Young Harris College. Young Harris College agreed to sponsor the program and provide space for the headquarters, library, and director's office in the former Rich Building on the Young Harris campus. The first meeting of the Towns Union Regional Library Board was held August 16, 1946. Fannin County joined the region on May 3, 1957. And when they joined, the system's name was changed to the Fannin Towns Union Regional Library. On April 7, 1958, the name was shortened to the Mountain Regional Library System, which it is currently today. The present Mountain Regional Library System headquarters facility was built in 1980. The regional library, the regional headquarters in Young Harris and its relationship to Towns County and the region. The headquarters library building and property in Young Harris are owned by the Mountain Regional Library System Board of Trustees, not Towns County. Towns County pays the salaries and benefits of public service staff for the public portions. That's the library portion of that building. The other half of the building is the regional part. The Friends of the Libraries of Towns County provides about 90% of the materials in the headquarters library. The remainder is from donations, grants, private foundation sources. No money from any other county or the state provides materials for the library part of the headquarters. Now, the other staff working in the headquarters library works for the entire region. And these are, I listed them, Regional Director, which is state paid, Technology Library, which is also state paid, the Human Resources and Accounting, that deals with payroll and benefits and stuff, Technical Processing Coordinator, Regional Resources Sharing, a Training and Outreach Coordinator, Technical Processing Assistant. There are currently 34 regional library systems in the state of Georgia, out of 61 total library systems. All but one have a public library as part of their headquarters. It is basically a 2-in-1 situation. The one system that does not is currently in temporary quarters due to renovation, and the main reasons the regions are set up this way is for cost-effective measures. You'll see the attachment, the last page. On the last page, 33 out of 34 regional library systems in Georgia have public library of their headquarters, 2-in-1. And here's some examples. Athens Regional Library System has 5 counties. Chattahoochee Valley Libraries has 4 counties in it. Cherokee Regional System has 2 counties. Most systems use all their state-paid staff at the headquarters library. The only ones who don't are Mountain Regional, that's our system, the Sequoia Regional, and Live Oak systems. Even in Sequoia and Live Oak, the majority of state-paid staff are at the headquarters. Only 4 counties, Fannin, Union, Gilmer, and Pickens, have a full-time state-paid librarian as the manager of a branch library. What this means is these other systems require their librarian to work out of the regional headquarters. Fannin, Mountain Regional does not. Our state-paid librarian, Ms. Barton, works here in Fannin County. Okay. There are 5 regional library systems that pay all the people who staff the public library part of the headquarters library as regional employees. All others pay the local public services staff at the headquarters branch from the city, county where it is located, like Mountain Regional System does here, like with the Towns County. What they're saying is that those 5 regions require all those members of that region to pay for the staff and at that headquarters library part as well as their regional part. Does everybody follow me there? Okay. At the bottom there, I listed the regional library system in Georgia are funded per capita. This is percentage of population. This is how all the regions are funded, required by the state. And there's a little chart there. List our counties, Fannin, Towns, and Union. If you look at the population column, Fannin has 24,850 population. Towns has 11,173. Union has 22,500. And our percentage is for Fannin is 42.46%. Towns is 19.09%. Union has 38.45%. Okay? That's based on population. Now, if you look at the regional personnel and the general operations, this is the region, this is what all 3 counties pay into the regional part. Fannin, Towns, and Union pay in each $3.68 per personnel, based on population. General operations is $1.60 for each of the 3 counties. But the column that I want you to look at, which I thought was very interesting, was the local personnel. Fannin pays $3.41. Towns pays $11.54. Union pays $4.73. And the reason for this is Towns has to pay the branch manager as well as all the staff members that work there at the regional headquarters library. That's why they pay a lot more. Fannin is the lowest of the 3, and Towns is the highest. Okay? Now, I wanted to share this information with you to hope clear up some misunderstandings and get some information to you about the regional library system and how it works in the state of Georgia. And right now, the state encourages smaller counties to become part of a regional system. And you're probably going to be seeing more of that in the near future. And as I went through this, looking at the different, because these different regions set up their own different rules and guidelines. And compared to the other regionals, Fannin is in pretty good shape, real good shape, compared to what we would be if we were in another regional system. I can't stress to you how important a library is today. You know, with the advances in information and technology, we need, you know, it's for our children and the children to come, yet to come. It is very important that we all support our library. You know, the thing about education and learning, it just doesn't begin at the doors to the schoolhouse. It is very important that we capture our children at a young age, because reading is the key. If we can encourage our children to learn to read and enjoy it, then so many doors open up. Many doors to the world. There's no telling what our children can achieve. Sherry and I, when I was growing up, a library was a very important part of my life. Because I was born and raised in Kentucky, and we were dirt poor. And my mom took me to a library at an early age, and I got my library card, and that helped me. Little did I know at the time. And I went back, of course, little did I know years later I would end up marrying a librarian. That was the best thing ever happened to me. But anyway, when Sherry and I go places, we like to stop and just visit libraries, check them out, check the facility over, but ask questions. Because the heart and soul of a library, any public library, are the services and programs that it offers its community. And recently, we returned from Kentucky visiting family and friends. And we stayed with her brother in Hallsville, which is in Hancock County, Kentucky. And right adjacent to his property, they just recently opened a new library. And so we stopped in there because I had some questions I wanted to talk to the library about. We went into the library, and to the left was kids area only. To the right was a regular library. And I asked the young lady at the desk, I said, "Are you the librarian? Can I speak with her?" She said, "The librarian is involved. They are doing interviews right now for a staff member. Can I help you?" So I asked her if we could take a look around her library and then come back and ask her some questions. She said, "Sure." So we went around looking at the library, came back, except another young lady had come up. And we asked her some of these questions here. How many staff members do you have? She said, "We have 9 staff members. Fannin County has 5. And I asked her, "Okay, what's your population?" Now this really shocked me. She said, the last census has at 8,500. Okay. And I asked her, "Well, does the school system fund any of your funds?" She said, "No, we do not get any funds from the school system." And she said, and went on to say, "I drive the bookmobile 3 days a week." "Oh, you got a bookmobile here?" "Yes. We have a little garage out back. We keep it in the garage." And then I asked her, "Well, how is your library funded? How do you pay for this?" She said, "They raised the millage rate." And when she said that, I said, "And the people are okay with that?" The look she gave me went beyond from just where are you from, it was more like, what planet are you from? And her answer was the best answer I have yet to hear. And this was her answer, and I'm going to close with this. She said, we invest in our children. So I want to thank you all, and I sincerely hope that each and every one of you will support the library, because it serves a tremendous purpose for our children and our future children. Thank you.
They took my library card and I give it back to me.
I wonder why.
Hey, I bet they didn't even have library cards back in your day. Let's see. I think, Sonia.
Well, I really don't need to give a report, because thanks to Mr. Doss back there, he incorporated what I was going to say into his speech.
So I can check you off.
No, just a minute. No, you can't. But I do want to remind you, if you were not listening when Mr. Doss spoke, that you have until October the 6th to register, and that early voting begins October the 14th through October the 25th, which is a Saturday. So please come out and vote and see us on the third floor courthouse. I will say this. We did receive a call, Mr. Doss, from Mr. Perdue's campaign today, asking if our county might consider opening on a Sunday, which was, to vote on a Sunday, which would have been October the 26th, from maybe 1 to 6 o'clock. And I said, well, I can't speak for the entire board. I asked him how many counties in the state of Georgia were electing to do this, and he said at the present time, I believe there were 4. And I said, well, the best I could do at such short notice would be to call each of the board members and poll them to see if they would be supportive of this, because it is a little bit short notice. And I did that, went to the elections office, called each of the board members, which consist of 2 Democrats, 2 Republicans, and an independent, got them on the phone, and asked them, did not tell them anything other than gave them the facts, did not tell them how anybody else had voted on the board, and insisted that they either vote yes or no. And I have to say that they voted no to not pursue opening on a Sunday at this point. So, and I called Mr. Perdue's campaign and gave him that information. If anybody feels strongly against that, in favor of opening on Sunday, on the third floor of the courthouse from say 1 to 6, please contact the election office and let us know your thoughts. It's very difficult to speak for an entire community at such short notice, but that was about all we could do. That's it.
That's it?
Yes, sir.
That's all you got?
Yes.
Real quick, she's gonna give us, she wants to give us a little update on something.
Good evening. I'm Louise Little. And last meeting, when I told you that I was going to be giving out these little booklets to all of our 5th graders in Fannin County, and opened up, and we had the money for these booklets for each kid. They were $1 each. They came, 2 big old boxes, shipped directly to me. I have them, and Wednesday is Constitution Day. And I will be at schools, all the schools. I'm going to be in Blue Ridge at 9 o'clock in the morning. I am so proud of Fannin County. They just opened up and said, come on, they welcome me. So I'm going to be at Blue Ridge, 9 o'clock in the morning, and they're going to have all the 5th graders so that I can handle one myself. I get to do it. They're not going to say the teachers have to do it. And then I will go up to West Fannin, and then I will come back to East Fannin, so that I will see that all 242 kids have got the Constitution booklet with them.
something you wanted to?
No.
I'm gonna pass. You gonna pass? Sure.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, okay. All right. Now we can move right along to introduction of all of our officers. Becky Callahan, Corner. She's here. Good to see you, Becky. Chairman Bill Simons. Commissioner Larry Joe Soulsby. School Board member Bobby Beard. Former GOP Chairman Clay Collins and Ron Bowman. Mayor Donna Whitener. City of Blue Ridge. Post Commissioner Earl Johnson. Former Councilwoman. You don't like you, so I can't help it. Marilyn McNeil, McCaslin. Sonia Smith, the Election Board. Elaine Owen, the Fannin Sentinel, and the Chairman of the Republican Women. And also, thank you, Elaine, because Harry, I appreciate that word you give me, but it's just like Ronald Reagan once said. He said that he's only the best president because of the people he has around him, and that's what makes a good team. And I've got some good people, and we just, I appreciate them. I'm just blessed with that. Thank you for the comments, because that's what it's all about, keeping this thing alive and making it bigger. And we also have the Fannin Focus with us today. Nice to have you. Give everybody a big hand there, everybody. Now, the polling of the precincts. Caldwell. One. Ron Shear was here, so that's two. Two for Caldwell. Fair play. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hey, we're climbing right on up. 5. All right. Flint Hill. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Tied you guys. Hemptown. 3 at Hemptown. Hot House. 2, 3, 4, 5 at Hot House. Mineral Bluff. 1, 2, 3. 3. Mobile. 1.
I burned it down, sir.
Where's Larry Joe? Larry Joe's Mobile, ain't he?
I'm on one left.
He's Hot House, I thought he was Mobile. No, he lives in Mobile. Yeah. No, he lives in Mobile. 2 in Mobile.
Businesses in Mobile.
Yeah, 2 in Mobile. Morgan. 1 in Morgan.
Behind.
Oh, 2, 3. 3 in Morgan. Yeah, woo. New Tootley. All right, 2 in New Tootley. Skeena. Skeena? Nobody? Sugar Creek. Oh my God. I bet you got your bellies full. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Y'all get a cookie. All right. Toccoa.
Lynn was here.
Yep, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 Toccoa. Give yourselves a hand. That's all. How many guests we have? No guests? Yeah, we do. 1 guest. All right, unfinished business. Any unfinished business? New business. Okay. We have a little dilemma here that we're going to get through on this. Our treasurer, Melanie Harris, resigned Friday, September the 12th. The bylaw says that the chairman will appoint a temporary treasurer until election next month's meeting, when the nominees will be accepted and members will vote for the treasurer to serve out till the convention in March. From our bylaws, at our meeting Monday, September the 15th, today I will appoint somebody to fill that position until that time comes. We will publish this in all the papers on the announcement at at least 10 days before the next scheduled meeting, which is October the 20th. At that election, it will be held at the meeting to fill that vacancy. We'll have that meeting to fill that vacancy. So if you're interested in running for secretary, for treasurer, I'm sorry, please let us know about it. We'll take the nominations, but at this time, our bylaws, I have the right to appoint somebody to fill that position until we do that. So we have an assistant, so Matt Rideout's going to step up for the month until we hold our election next month. So, Matt, you're the treasurer, and I know there's nothing to report right now.
I do have a balance, but that's it.
You do have a balance?
Yes.
Come here and tell us about it.
Our current balance is $3,144.34.
All right, we can go to town on that, can't we? All right. Thank you, Matt.
John,
Ma'am?
any outstanding debt?
No, I don't think we have any outstanding debts.
Not that I'm aware of.
Yeah. We'll have more when we get our stuff. We wish Melanie the best. Melanie has took a job with, it's under the GVI, so with the GCIC, and that's, she can't be affiliated in a political party either side, so it prohibits her to do that. So she had no choice but to do that, and we appreciate what she has done and being here so long. So, but Matt is going to fill in for this month until we have our election. So we appreciate that. Any other business? Nobody? What? You don't have, okay. All right. Questions or comments from the audience? Yes, ma'am, you can say something.
Okay, two things. Those of you who know me know I have half a brain and I use a reporter for everything, or I never get my stories written. Saturday at the Cert Fair, I had my recorder, and I don't know how I dropped it, but I dropped it or something, I don't have it. So if any of you find a recorder with a white tape on the back that says his name, please let me know. And the other thing I want to tell you is something really sad. A really good friend of mine and a friend of a lot of yours, Eddie White, passed away Sunday.
Who?
Eddie White. Eddie was one of the founders of Habitat in Fannin County. He's just a great person. His service is going to be September 27th at 11 o'clock at Hope Lutheran Church in OJ. That's all I need. Pray for the family. He has a little girl adopted. He and Ellen adopted a little girl about 7 years ago. And Emma is 9 now. She lost her dad. It's sad. And Fannin County lost a really good person.
Thank you, Elaine. We will keep that in prayer. Anybody else?
John,
Yes, sir.
if anyone has the sign-up sheet, please just give it to me as you go out.
Okay. Anybody got the sign-up sheet?
I think I've got most of them in, but I think one's still out. So
Okay. All right. Anybody else? It's good to see a lot of different people coming in back here. Good to have you back. It's good to see everybody. Upcoming events, Fannin County Tea Party Favorites meet the first Thursday at 6 p.m. at the Senior Center. Fannin County Republican Women meet second Wednesday at 11:30 at 10 noon. And the Fannin County Republican Party meets the third Monday at 7 p.m., 6 p.m. Dinner at the Senior Center. And I want to give thanks to Debbie and Walt Nichols, and Elaine, and Jim, Wanda, Louise Lily, and others for preparing the meal. Thank you. God bless you. Let's give a hand to those. Okay, it's fun time. Get your tickets out. Hey, has everybody got a ticket? Everybody got a ticket? All right. Let's see what we have. First base is going to be a yard art. Winning ticket number, last three numbers are 599. Anybody?
Right here.
Come here, darling. Hey, I know your granddaddy made all this. You want me to swap this or just run full of this stuff?
Swap it.
Sir?
Swap it, I got
You want something else? Let's see what I got. I'll tell you what. I know I sing there all the time. Here's your dinner for two at Monty Allen's. He likes it, I know he does. He's speaking Mexican. All right. Like I said, yard art is the gift here, giveaway. Last three numbers. 608. 608. This is fish. I named it Charlie. All right. Now I'm going to get into the sauces. I don't see, hey, you know that guy that, gentleman that won last week, won a hat too or something, he got something else. He must have ate this because he ain't been back. It must have worked on him, I tell you. I think he got some leftovers too. Some kind of lotion. Yeah, he got some. He probably ate that and put that on. Just, last three numbers, 596. This is all natural. Read that, Chad. Sunburned orange hot sauce. She ran.
How about it?
Oh, that's guaranteed to take 50 more years. There you go. Congratulations. All right, let's see here. I started opening one of these. Oh, this is it. I've never seen nothing like that. This is gluten-free watermelon rind pickles.
John, who donated this stuff?
Oh, this all comes from Harvest on Main, Blue Ridge Grocery. Hey, we couldn't do none of this without these business people. The winning number, last three, is 627. 627. Oh! Let me know how that tastes. And for Blue Ridge Grocery, here is a coffee mug. No taste until you put something in. All right, last three numbers. 606. 606. Man, you won something last time. Here. Yeah, sit down, man. You won something last time. All right, here we go. This is Cook's Farm Honey. This is from also Blue Ridge Grocery. You need something sweet. Last three numbers, 621. Hey, pour it all over. Huh? You probably gonna need a gallon of this, though.
I need more than that.
Congratulations. All right, you'll be happy too. All right, thank you. Yes, ma'am. Yeah. Let's see, I got something else in here. Well, that one was meant to be right there. Okay. Fig preserves with ginger. Really? I don't know. Last three numbers, 633. 633. Here you go, Jim. Let me know how it is. All right. These are some wild things. Okay. All right, now we have a dinner for two at Monty Alphonse. Yeah, it's gluten free. It's gluten free. Last three numbers. 644. 644. 644 going once.
The mayor.
The mayor. Here, I'll bring it to you. Here you go.
I'm just glad you remembered this stuff, Joe.
Thank you. Yeah. Let's see. Now, this is an oil change for our friends up at Mountain Valley Motors. We have two oil changes. Last three numbers are 605. 605. So the fish family's wanted Al and an oil change, right? Here. All right. Okay, you might as well stay up here. Seems like all right. Another oil change from Mountain Valley Motors. Last three numbers are 645. Hey, you better take care of him when he comes up there. All right, congratulations. Let's see. Yard art. I'll tell you what we're going to do on the yard art. Bill was nice enough to donate some Collins shirts, Collins shirts. We have a piece of yard art. Doug Collins. Okay? See you coming. All right. Last three numbers. 598. Are you kidding me? Really? I can't believe it. Well, here's your shirt. Small?
I've got medium, there's medium and extra large.
Medium. Here's medium. Sleep. Here you go. Wait a minute, get your yard art. Lord knows you ain't got enough of it. Okay. More yard art, come on back up. Last three numbers. 612. 612. I'm just happy somebody else with yard art. You look about like me. Here you go, man. Here's you a piece of yard art. Here's you a Doug Collins t-shirt. Get out there and support him and give him all your help. Just get on the boat you can. Thank you. We're about to wind down. I got a couple more here. Yard art. She's already walking this way. Ain't even caught that right. All right. Last three numbers. 602. 602. You really? Okay. All right. I'm going to have to give you the yard art, and I'm going to give